Welcome to the lecture of data science. In this video lecture, we will cover the topic such as the random variables, what is PDF, that is the probability density function, CDF, that is the cumulative distribution function, and the binomial distribution from the unit number 3. So let's get started. So first of all, we will see that what the random variables are. So the random variable is a function that maps every outcome in the sample space to a real number. So this is my sample space and this black dots shows my every possible outcome. So this every possible outcomes, if you are mapping with some real numbers, then it will be called as your random variable. So this AI, that is my sample space outcome, is mapped with the real number xi. This xi value will lie between minus infinite to plus infinite. So for example, in case of the fraudulent transactions, we can now calculate the probabilities such as the probability x equals to 2. It means the probability that the number of fraudulent transactions are exactly 2. The number of fraudulent transactions, that is the probability of the number of fraudulent transactions are more than 2, and the probability that the number of fraudulent transactions are less than 2. So this is possible with the help of the concept called the random variables. Now the random variables can be classified as the discrete random variables and the continuous random variables depending on the values of the random variable which they are taking. So starting with the first one, that is the discrete random variables. So what are the discrete random variables? We have to see that. So let's see the definition first of the discrete random variable. So if the random variable x can assume only a finite or the countably infinite set of values. Now what are the finite values that you all know? Now what over here the meaning of this, that is the countably infinite values. The countably infinite set of values means there are some sort of infinite values but you can count that value. So such values are included into the discrete random variable. So let's take an example. So the number of orders received at an e-commerce retailer which can be countably infinite. So the number of orders which the retailer is receiving from an e-commerce website, so that orders may be possible that the number of orders is very large, but you can count at some point the number of orders, whether the number of orders is 50,000 or 2 lakh or 3 lakh or 5 lakh, but you can count the number of orders that the retailer has received. The next one is the customer churn. So there are only two possible outcomes of this customer churn, that is the churn and the no churn. So the random variables which are taken over here that you can easily count. So this is an example of the discrete random variable. Similarly for the fraudulent transaction, so only there are two possibilities, that is the fraudulent transactions and the genuine transaction. So you can count these values. So this all are the examples of the discrete random variables. Now let's see that what are the continuous random variables. So let's understand the definition first. So the random variable x, which can take a value from an infinite set of values. So this is important for the definition, that is the infinite set of values is called as the continuous random variable. Let's take the example of the continuous random variable. So the first one is the percentage of attrition among employees of an organization. The time to failure of engineering system. Suppose the engineering system, it means any machine which is working so perfectly that the machine does not fail. So the time to failure of the engineering systems, it might happens if that machine does not fail lifetime, then the time to failure will be infinite. Also, the time taken to complete an order placed at an e-commerce portal is an example of the continuous random variable. So just for an example, that order has placed at an e-commerce portal, but due to some technical issues or due to some conditions of the retailer or the seller, that seller is unable to ship the product to the customers. Then what will happen? The time taken to complete that particular order will be an infinite, because that particular order will not be shipped. So it will not complete the order. So again, this is an example of the continuous random variable, because over here the time will be infinite if the order is not shipped. The fourth example is time taken to resolve a customer complaint at call or the service center. So if the customer complaint has not resolved, then the time taken will be infinite for that particular customer complaint to get resolved. So these are what the examples of the continuous random variables are. Now let's see that what is the probability mass function and the cumulative distribution function of a discrete random variable. So we are talking about a discrete random variable, and we will see the PMF and the CDF function. So for a discrete random variable, the probability of a random variable x taking a specific value xi, so that will be called as your probability mass function. So over here the probability of x, and we are taking a particular value of x, and suppose that particular value is over here as xi, then this is called as your probability mass function. So let's understand this, the probability mass function. So this is your sample space. The random variable means if you are doing the mapping of the outcome of a sample space with some real numbers, then that will be your random variables. But if you are mapping your outcome of a sample space with some particular probability, then it is called as the probability mass function, or we can say in short that is the probability function. So you can see over here that these are the output of your sample space. Suppose these are the different outputs, and suppose the corresponding random values related to the output is like this, that is x1 x2 up to xn, and the corresponding probability of such type of random variables are given like this, that is p1 for x1, p2 for x2, and pn for xn. So these are called as the probability distribution of a random variable. So in short, this is the topic whose name is probability mass function. So you have to remember this, that the probability mass function means for a different random variables, you have its corresponding probability related to it. Now let's understand with an example. So consider the number of daily fraudulent transactions at a bank branch. So this table is given. So this random variable, that is x, is representing the number of fraudulent transactions. So xi, the value of xi, first of all, it is 0. It means the number of fraudulent transactions are 0. It means there are no fraudulent transactions. One fraudulent transaction, two fraudulent transaction, three fraudulent transaction, and four fraudulent transactions. And the probability corresponding to such fraudulent transactions are given below. That is your probability mass function. So you can read this table like this. That is the probability that there will be no fraudulent transaction on any given day. So that probability is 0.2. On a given day, suppose only one fraudulent transaction will occur, then what is the probability of that? The probability is 0.15. Similarly, for a given day, suppose 4 fraudulent transaction occurs, then what is the probability that 4 fraudulent transactions occur on a particular given day. So its probability is again 0.15. So this is how you can read the table. Now over here, we all know that always the value of probability is greater than or equals to 0. The value of probability is never negative. Also, the summation of all the probabilities will equals to 1. So over here in this table, when you do the summation of all these values, that is zero point 0.2 plus 0.15 plus 0.25 plus 0.25 plus 0.15, then you will get the answer as 1. Now let's see the cumulative distribution function. So the cumulative distribution function, which is represented by capital F of xi, is the probability that the random variable x takes the value less than or equals to xi. So just remember this: when the random variable x is taking the value exactly equals to xi, it means your probability mass function, that is the PMF, and if the random variable takes the values like this, that is less than or equals to xi, it means it is your cumulative distribution function. So you can remember like this, and its symbol is capital F. So for this given table, if you want to find out that what is the probability that less than or equals to 2 fraudulent transaction will occur at a given day. So if you want to find such kind of probability, then for that the cumulative distribution function is useful. So I want to find f of 2. So that means the probability of x whose value is less than or equals to 2, and it can be written like this, that is the probability at x whose value is exactly at 0, the probability of x whose value is exactly equals to 1 plus the probability of x whose value is exactly equals to 2. So when such cumulative distribution function is given, that is the probability of x is less than or equals to 2, then what you have to do? You have to do the summation of all the probabilities till the mentioned value in the cumulative distribution function. So just do the summation of all these probabilities. So let's calculate this. That is my 0.2 plus 0.15 plus 0.25. So my answer is 0.6. That is, I am adding up all these probabilities. Now let's see that for the discrete random variables, we will see expected value, the formula of the variance, and the formula of the standard deviation. So starting with the expected value of the discrete random variables. So over here, the expected monetary value, that is EMV, forms the basis for selecting an alternative from the several possible alternatives in a decision tree approach. So the EMV, that is the expected value. In short, you can also call it as the mean. So if you want to find out the average or the mean or the expected value, the formula is same. This one is the formula. So that is E of x equals to xi into P of xi. That is the value of the random variables into its corresponding probability value. So this is the formula of expected value. Now let's see the formula of the variance of a discrete random variable. So the formula is like this, that is the random variable xi minus the expected value, that is u of x, the whole square into the corresponding probability value. So you have to do the summation of all these values and you will get the variance of x. Now let's see the standard deviation of a discrete random variable. So its formula will be like this, that is the square root of the variance. So what you have to do, you have to make a list of all these formulas. So all these formulas is helpful for you to solve the numericals. So take one page and just list out all the formulas given in the unit number 3. Now let's understand with the help of the given table, that is the number of fraudulent transactions are given in the table. So from this table, I want to calculate the expected value, that is my E of X, or I can say the mean value. So the formula is like this, that is Xi into P of Xi. That means 0 into 0.2, you can see 1 into 1.5, 2 into 0.25, 3 into 0.25, and 4 into 0.15, it is the last. So I got the value as 2. So I can say that the average number of fraudulent transactions that are occurring is 2, because my average value is 2. Now based on this, I can also calculate the variance, that is Xi, it means 0 minus, I got the value of expected this mean value, or I can say the expected value, that is E of X as 2, the whole square into the probability, that is 0.2, 0 with 0.2, 1 with 0.15, then you can see 1 with 0.15. Like this you can add up all the value and you are getting the variance as 1.8. For finding out the standard deviation, just make the square root of the variance and you will get the value of the standard deviation. Now let's understand the probability density function, that is the PDF, and the cumulative distribution function, that is the CDF, of a continuous random variable. So previously we have seen for the discrete random variables. Now we are analyzing all the formula and we will see the PDF and CDF for the continuous random variable. So over here, the continuous random variable can take infinitely many values. So their exact measurement is very difficult. So just for an example, that atomic clocks also comes with an error. So that particular error is very small. That is, that particular error, we can say it as an infinitesimally small. So for this reason, the probability density function, that is the f of xi, is defined like this, that suppose that value x lies between an infinitesimally small interval defined by xi and xi plus dx. So I can write the formula like this, where probability is given like this, where the probability of x and the x value lies between xi and xi plus delta of x. So this is the formula of the probability density function. Now let's see the formula of the cumulative density function. So cumulative density function, it means you are getting the value like this, that is less than or equals to some value. The value of x is less than or equals to some value. So I want to find out the probability of x whose value is less than or equals to a. Then I am writing the integration of the probability density function, that is f of x. So probability density function is written like this. The symbol is small f. Cumulative distribution function is written like capital F. That value of a you have to write into the bracket. So this is the cumulative distribution function graph, that is for value of a. Suppose this is my value of a, then the cumulative distribution function will cover all the values till a and the less than a, because we are writing over here that x is less than or equals to a. So it will cover that all the values. Now this is the graph of a probability density function. So we know that the probability density function, over here it is written that the value of x lies between the two different values, that is suppose a and b. Then in my graph, this is my whole graph. So this is my a and b. So this probability density function will cover the area between a and b. So it is less than or equals to, so it will also cover the value of a and b. Now these are the following properties that the PDF and the CDF is following. So always the value of the probability density function is always greater than or equals to 0, because the value of probability will never be negative. Always the cumulative density function It means the summation of all the different probabilities will be always equals to 1. And also you can write like this: when the probability of x, where the value of x lies between a and b, then you can write like this, that is its cumulative density function b minus f of a. So the expected value, it means the mean value of a continuous random variable. The formula is like this, that is x into PDF. The variance of a continuous random variable, the formula it is given like this, that is x minus mean value, the whole square into f of x. That is my PDF. Now this are all the formulas for the discrete and the continuous random variables. So just list all the formulas in one paper. So it will be convenient for you to read during the examinations. Now let's see what is the binomial distribution. So starting with the binomial distribution. So binomial distribution is discrete probability distribution. So random variable x is said to follow a binomial distribution when it satisfies the following rules. So the first one is that the random variable can have only two outcomes, that is the success and the failure, which is also known as the Bernoulli trials. The second one is the objective of this binomial distribution is to find the probability of getting k successes out of the n trials. Now just for an example, I am tossing a coin. When I am tossing a coin, then there are two possibilities of the outcome. That is either the head will come or the tail will come. Now I am tossing the coin 10 times. So out of the 10 times, suppose I am getting 4 times as the head and I want head in my output. So my success is my head. So how many successes are there? 4 successes are there out of 10 trials. So the objective of this binomial distribution is to find out the probability of getting the k successes out of the n trials. It means the probability of getting the head out of the 10 trials of tossing a coin. The third thing is that the probability of success is p, thus the probability of failure is 1 minus p. Suppose my probability of the success of getting the head is 4, so its probability will be 0.4, that is 4 divided by 10. So the probability of getting the tail will be 1 minus 0.4, it means 0.6. The fourth rule is that the probability p is constant and it does not change between the trials. So you have to remember this properties of the binomial distribution. Suppose I am taking an example, that the example of a football match. Then whether that example of a football match is an example of the binomial distribution, yes or no? This is your question. So just see that what is the sample space, what is the complete outcomes, what are the different numbers of outcomes of a football match. So in the football match, one outcome is that a team can win, second outcome is that the team can lose, and the third outcome is that the match will be a draw. So there are three possible outcomes in a football match. So it will be not a binomial distribution because it does not satisfy the property of the binomial distribution, because it is given over here that the random variable can have only two outcomes, that is the success and the failure. So football match is not an example of this particular Bernoulli trials. Also, this binomial distribution is the discrete probability distribution. You have to remember this, that it is the part of the discrete probability distribution. Now, these are the few examples of the binomial distributions. Only two possible outcomes are there in the customer churn. The customer will churn and the customer will not churn. Fraudulent transactions, fraudulent claim or the genuine claim. Employee attrition, that the employee will leave the company or the employee does not leave the company. So the probability mass function PMF of the binomial distribution, that is the probability that the number of successes will be exactly x out of the n trials, is given like this. So this is the formula of the binomial distribution, that is capital X equals to small x. And what is this x, n and x? So it means the n factorial divided by x factorial into n minus x factorial. So p raised to x into 1 minus p raised to n minus x. So again, this formula you have to write down, note down into your paper. This is the graph of the PMF of a binomial distribution. Suppose over here the n is equals to 10 and the probability is 0.5. Then its graph is like this, that is the bell-shaped graph. For the cumulative distribution function of the binomial distribution, so the cumulative distribution function will be exactly like this, that is less than or equals to some value. So it will be given like this, that is the summation of the PMF. So this is the graph, that is the cumulative distribution function, CDF graph of the binomial distribution. So this is what the curve of the CDF is. Now let's see that this is my graph of the PMF, and in this particular graph, if you visualize at this point, then you can see that my highest point in my PMF is at value of 6. Done? So over here in the CDF, you can see that your graph rises till the value of 6. After the 6 value, your graph decreases in the PMF. So what will happen in the CDF? After the value of 6, the graph will become constant, because this CDF is the summation of all the values in the PMF. So this is how you can remember the plot of the graph. It means the shape of the graph. The mean value of the binomial distribution is given like this. So it is a same as the values, that how we have calculated the mean. So you have to remember this final formula, that is the mean of the binomial distribution is n into p, and the variance of a binomial distribution is given by n into p into 1 minus p. Now let's understand the numerical 3.5. So let's start. So this is my example 3.5. So let's understand this example, that fashion trends online, that is the FTO, is an e-commerce company that sells some products. So it is observed that about 10% of the customer return the items purchased by them for many reasons. So what the customers are doing, out of the 100 different customers, out of the 100 customers, only 10 customers are returning the purchase item for the reasons like such as the size, color, or the material mismatch. So on a particular day, 20 customers purchase the items from FTO. So out of the 100, there are 10 customers who is returning the item. So the percentage it is given as 10%. So on a particular day, if 20% customers are purchasing the items from this fashion trends online, then you have to calculate the following things. The first one is that the probability that exactly 5 customers will return the items. Now over here you have to identify from the question that this question is from the binomial distribution. So over here the output is like this, that the customer will return the product or the customer will not return the product. So there are only two possibilities of the outcome. So I can make use of the formulas from the binomial distribution. So I want to find out the probability that exactly 5 customers will return the items. So I have the formula like this, that is probability for x, where x is equals to 5. So I got this formula from the binomial distribution. So let's see that. So this is the formula of PMF from the binomial distribution, that is nx into p raised to x. So let's see, that is nx into p raised to x into what it is given? 1 minus p raised to n minus x. So 1 minus p is 1 minus 0.1 is 0.9. And what is the value of n and x? So in this case, we are taking the value of n equals to 20 because there are 20 different customers, and we are taking the value of probability as 0.1 because it is given that only 10% of the customers are returning the items purchased. So value of n is 20 and value of p is 0.1. So I can easily calculate the probability at x equals to 5. So just put the values into the formula and you will get the answer like this, that is 0.03192. See, second statement is the probability that a maximum of 5 customers will return the items. Maximum of 5 customer, it means the maximum value is 5, the minimum value it can be any, that is ranging between from 0 to 5. So I have the value of x which is ranging from 0 to 5, so I can write probability of x which is less than or equals to 5. So for this type of formula, which function, which formula I have to use for this type of finding the probability, which formula I have to use? So I have to make use of the cumulative function from the binomial distribution. So you can see over here that this is my formula of the cumulative distribution function, that is the CDF, that is value of x is less than or equals to a. So what I am writing, the value of x is less than or equals to 5. So just put all the values into the formula and you will get the answer as 0.9885. Now the next is the third one, that you want to find the probability that more than 5 customers will return the items purchased by them. So more than 5 means over here the value of x is greater than 5. So we are not having any formula like this, that is the probability of x is greater than 5. So what we will do, we have this formula that the x value is less than or equals to 5. So we have the value of such kind of probability. So we will do 1 minus probability of x is less than or equals to 5. So I will get that 1 minus 0.9887. So I got the answer as 0.0113. The fourth is you have to find out the average number of customers who are likely to return the items. So what is the formula of finding the average in the binomial distribution? It means this particular value, that is your mean, is also called as the average, that is n into p. So over here, that is n into p, it will be your average of the customers who will likely to return the items. So the value of n is 20, that is given in the question, and the value of p is 0.1, and you got the average as 2. So on an average, out of 20 customers, 2 customers will return the purchased item. The variance of the binomial distribution, it is given by the formula like this, that is np into 1 minus p, that is np into 1 minus p. Just put all the values and you are getting the variance as 1.8. And over here the standard deviation, that is the variance and the standard deviation. So what is the standard deviation? The standard deviation is the square root of the variance. So you can easily calculate from your calculator the value of the standard deviation. We will see this numerical 3.6 in our next lecture. From this video, you can answer such type of questions, that is discuss about the probability density function, that is the PDF, cumulative distribution function CDF of a continuous random variable, list and describe the parameters of the continuous random variable. Also, you can write about the discrete random variable also, and what is the binomial distribution. So let's see the summary of this video lecture, that we have seen that what are the random variables, what are the type of random variables. For the discrete random variables, we have seen the PMF, the CDF, its expected value, variance, and the standard deviation. Similarly, for the continuous random variable, we have seen PDF, CDF, expected value and its variance. Similarly, for the binomial distribution, we have seen PMF, CDF, its mean, its variance, and the numerical related to the binomial distribution. So keeping it till here, thank you for watching.